Hey everybody, welcome back to another video, and in this video today I have more of a variety of topics for the Markiplier lore. And the first one I want to talk about, which in my opinion is like the biggest one at the moment, is trying to find In Space with Markiplier Part 0. I've looked and I still cannot find it. I checked all the endings of all the other Markiplier projects. None of those have more than 11 million views. I went to Markiplier's most popular, scrolled down to 11 million views. Nothing there seemed like it would be In Space with Markiplier Part 0. I checked Game Theory's channel. None of his Markiplier-related theories have specifically 11 million views. I've checked Syndigo's channel. He only has one video that has gotten 11 million views, and that one has nothing to do with Markiplier. So when it comes to In Space with Markiplier Part 0, I'm completely lost. I don't know anywhere else to check. But believe me, if I do find any videos that I could consider being In Space with Markiplier Part 0, I will tell y'all and upload a video about it immediately. But until then, we're just gonna have to leave it at that and move on with the video. So the next question I want to bring up is, what is the jump in again secret in Space with Markiplier? Now, I first heard about this a couple days ago actually, whenever Markiplier uploaded a video about playing 3 scary games. And in the middle of the video, he says this.
Just like no one's found the jump in again secret in Space with Markiplier. Some secrets are just so well hidden, you'd never even know.
Now, not gonna lie, when I first heard this, I originally thought that Markiplier was just trying to trick us again and that there really was no secret. And he just wanted us to get stuck in the endless loop of jump in again videos for In Space with Markiplier. But then, as I was rewatching the 10-year live stream, I saw this.
Jump in again!
Yeah, no one's found this.
Hell yeah!
I think we almost...
Right then, he also mentioned that there was a secret inside of the Jump In Again videos. Now, I personally think that this secret is like the name of a website to a unlisted video, because how else would he know that absolutely nobody has found the secret unless if the secret is a YouTube video that he can see the view count of. But who knows, that's just another unsolved mystery for the Markiplier universe. But now that I got those 2 questions out of the way, let's move on to some other things. So in my last theory video, I talked about Damien, and pretty much Damien's whole entire story throughout the Markiplier lore. And thanks to all of you guys, we do know that when Damien tells you to not rob me blind again, he's talking about poker. To be completely honest, whenever I first heard this and whenever I was editing my last video, I just did not think about poker or any games like that. None of that ever crossed my mind, but that does make a lot more sense actually. Also, thanks to Amazing Purple Girl, we now know the person who you play as and who killed Markiplier was actually the DA, and that's how he actually worked with the mayor, because he was the DA. In my last video, I said how you worked for Damien, also known as the mayor, but I didn't know what job specifically, but now we know. Amazing Purple Girl did also say that the mayor still had a bit of a dark past, and that is because of this scene right here I'm showing in the background. As you can see on the wall, well, you might not be able to see, but right here, there's going to be a newspaper about how the mayor's in legal trouble. Now, it's kind of hard to tell what the words are at the bottom, and I don't think you're actually going to be able to tell at all, but that is a cool little detail. I don't think it does too much to the lore besides just kind of emphasize the fact that literally nobody in this universe is pure-hearted and all 100% good. As for everything else here, I did kind of a rough look around and examined this scene right here. And a lot of it's just about the detective thinking that the colonel was the one who murdered Markiplier. Nothing too important to the lore. Now, let's take a step back and go back to talking about In Space with Markiplier Part 0, because there's one more thing that might hint to us what truly is In Space with Markiplier Part 0. And that hint is right here.
Because if you go back to part 1 at the end, old Mark does not recognize Lady. And that's because in that version, in part 0, Lady did not choose to follow you down that wormhole.
So this tells us that Part 0 most likely takes place in a whole nother timeline separate from both the In Space with Markiplier timeline and the Who Killed Markiplier timeline, because so far those are like the two main timelines in the lore, and Part 0 takes place in a different timeline where Lady doesn't go into the wormhole. But this hint also does make it a bit confusing as well, because originally I thought, oh, if it's something with 11 million views, it must be something that doesn't seem like a Part 0, but it actually is. But the fact that Lady's in Part 0 does kind of change that up and just kind of makes it a bit more confusing. Although technically Markiplier never said that she would make an appearance in the video that is In Space with Markiplier Part 0. He only said that in Part 0 she makes that decision. He never said that she makes that decision on camera in Part 0. I especially think that she made that decision off camera for Part 0, because if she did do it on camera, and you're one of the 11 million people who've watched Part 0, you would have already thought, hey, this is probably Part 0, which it seems like nobody's thought so far. So either she did it off camera, or she did do it on camera, and In Space with Markiplier Part 0 is really just one of the untitled videos that are attached to In Space with Markiplier Part 1. It can't be Part 2 because Part 2 only has 5 million views. However, when you look at In Space with Markiplier Part 1, that video has 15 million views, well past the already established 11 million views, so that's definitely a possibility. And that is why I'm here today, because I'm about to check if any unlisted video from In Space with Markiplier Part 1 can qualify as In Space with Markiplier Part 0. So I'm just going to be checking out all the in cards, and once all the in cards reach lower than 11 million views, then that's how you know it's not going to be in Space with Markiplier Part 1, unless if there is one of the in cards that have more than 11 million views, then maybe it's a possibility that video could be Part 0 based off of its context. So I don't think this first public video of Part 1 is it, because it's literally the beginning of Part 1. Why would it be Part 0 instead? Let's just skip to the end.
Fire on the bridge. Offline.
Okay, let's choose Fix Life Support first. And already, Fix Life Support has 4.4 million views. So that is way less than 11 million, which leads me to believe that the other option will probably have even less as well. So let's go back.
Failsafe.
Okay, now let's try Put Out the Fire. And already we have 3.8 million views. That is, again, that's even less than the first video, the Fix Life Support video. So in conclusion, what did we learn just now with this little test? We learned that Part 0 is not connected to Part 1 of In Space with Markiplier. It's not one of the unlisted videos inside of In Space with Markiplier. I'm not going to bother to check Part 2 because that one only has 5 million views at the time I'm recording this. So yeah. And the thing is with Part 0, it has to be an actual legit video, because Markiplier outright says in his 10-year live stream that In Space with Markiplier Part 0 has 11 million views. And how can it have 11 million views if it's not a YouTube video? So it can't just be something that's canon for the Markiplier lore, but isn't an actual physical video. It has to be an actual video that you can watch and like and dislike and all that. So with that information, we also know that it's not uploaded from MatPat or Syndigo, and it might not even be uploaded by Markiplier. Or if it was uploaded by Markiplier, it most likely would be unlisted. However, it's not a part of In Space with Markiplier Part 2 or In Space with Markiplier Part 1. And the video might feature Lady and her choosing not to follow you down the wormhole. So with all that said, thank you guys for watching. If I come up with any more ideas on what part 0 could be, I'll let y'all know. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Also, comment any Markiplier theories if you guys have any. I'll love to hear them. Okay, bye.